High above Romania's Argeș Valley, surrounded by the Carpathian Mountains, stands a fortress that seems almost impossible to reach. Poenari. Its ruined walls cling to a steep mountain above the forest, isolated from the world below. Reaching the fortress means climbing around 1,480 steps through dense woodland, with the valley disappearing beneath you. Poenari became closely associated with Vlad III, the Wallachian ruler better known as Vlad the Impaler. Centuries later, his name would help inspire the legend of Dracula. But the real story is dark enough without vampires. Vlad ruled during one of the most dangerous periods in Wallachia's history. Rival nobles, political betrayal, and the expanding Ottoman Empire constantly threatened his power. Vlad responded with brutality. He became infamous for impalement, using extreme punishment to make his enemies understand the price of defiance. Poenari became one of his mountain strongholds. Remote, steep, and difficult to attack, the fortress used the landscape itself as a weapon. According to tradition, Vlad ordered the fortress strengthened and rebuilt, with prisoners and rebellious nobles forced to carry materials up the mountain. Imagine the scene. Exhausted men struggling up narrow paths beneath the weight of enormous stones. Armed guards watching them, walls slowly rising above the forest. Then came war. As Ottoman forces pursued Vlad, Poenari became a refuge high above the valley. Any approaching army would have to cross difficult terrain before reaching the walls. One of the most famous legends connected to Poenari tells of Vlad's wife. According to the story, when Ottoman forces surrounded the fortress, she chose to throw herself from the walls rather than be captured. Another tradition claims that Vlad escaped through the mountains when the fortress was threatened, helped by villagers who attempted to confuse those following him. Then the centuries passed. The fortress lost its importance. What had once been a military stronghold became a ruin. But the stories never disappeared. Romanian folklore is filled with tales of restless spirits, cursed places, and the dead refusing to remain forgotten. Poenari seems almost designed for such stories. Imagine standing among the ruins after sunset. The mountains disappear into darkness. Mist rises from the valley. The forest becomes silent. Then you hear a sound behind you. You turn. Nothing. You look toward the battlements. For a moment, there seems to be someone standing there. A dark figure, motionless, watching. You look again. Only broken stone remains. There is no reliable evidence that Poenari is haunted. And yet the legends continue, perhaps because the fortress does not need ghosts to feel frightening. Real people lived here, real people fought here, real people suffered here, and real people died here. The supernatural stories came later. The darkness was already real. Long before Bram Stoker wrote Dracula, there was Vlad. Not a vampire, not a monster from a novel. A real medieval ruler who understood that fear could be a powerful weapon. And high above the Argeș Valley, the fortress associated with him still watches over the mountains. Today, the walls are broken and the towers are ruined, but the landscape remains almost unchanged. So, is Poenari haunted? Perhaps not by anything that can be measured, but places carry memories. And some memories are darker than others. When the sun disappears behind the Carpathians, Poenari becomes a silhouette against the night. The mist rises, the forest grows black, and among the broken stones, it becomes easy to imagine a figure standing on the battlements. Maybe it is only the wind. Maybe it is your imagination. Or maybe some legends survive because a small part of us wants them to be true. And perhaps that is the real horror of Poenari. Not that a ghost might still walk among the ruins, but that the memory of those who lived, suffered and died there has never truly disappeared. When darkness settles over the Argeș Valley, the fortress becomes more than a ruin. It becomes a reminder of a violent century, a ruthless ruler, and a place where history became so dark that centuries later, people still imagine something watching from the stones. Poenari has stood for centuries. Its walls are silent. Its history is fading. But somewhere among those broken battlements, perhaps something is still watching,